Hey everybody, this is PJ aka Claudeplay, and once again, it is Autism Awareness Month. And I get asked all the time, hey PJ, what's it like being autistic? And that's always a hard question for me to answer because it's a complicated disorder. Because there's so many things that are associated with having autism, I thought I would make this video and tell you guys 10 things that we wish you knew about our disorder. Number 1. Autism is a spectrum disorder. No two people with autism are the same. Autism affects so many people in so many different ways, but we all have one thing in common, and that's we're pretty much terrified of people. Number 2, kids with autism grow up. I've since outgrown many of my autistic symptoms, with a lot of therapy of course, but it definitely wasn't always easy. In fact, some of my autistic symptoms have actually gotten worse or have stayed the same. It's different for every single autistic adult, but it is a lifelong disorder. Number 3, most of us are able to speak for ourselves. Only about 15 to 25% of autistic people will never be able to speak. But I'm sure their minds are just as, if not more active than most. And that these people can still communicate, but they just don't do it with words, which I actually think is very beautiful. I think these people are just incredible. Number 4, we may find things just a little bit more difficult. Some of us are very sensitive to light and sound, and it takes a longer time to get adjusted to it. And sometimes we need stuff repeated to us because we may not get it the first time. Or sometimes it just takes longer to process things, and that's totally okay. So we just ask you guys to be very patient with us when it comes to this. Number 5, some of us have other disorders. Autism can come with other disorders such as ADHD, depression, and anxiety disorders. I myself actually have all of those disorders above. Sure, it makes things more difficult, but that's just who I am as a person, and I'm totally okay with being that way. Number 6, we have obsessive interests. Mine is clearly Coldplay, as well as the color midnight blue. Yeah, no, I am not wearing it in support of Autism Speaks, I promise you guys. I do not like that organization. And again, having obsessive interests is not a bad thing at all. We just really like something and think that we have to shout it out to the whole world, which I can understand can be annoying because even I annoy myself sometimes, but this is just who we are. For me personally, it is so much better if I have time to gain my composure when I'm by myself. If I have a meltdown, which is thankfully very rare nowadays because I've been able to manage it, I can wait until I get home, and then when I get to my room, kind of just have like a little freak out. But while I'm trying to bottle in all of these emotions, it is better if you leave me alone because otherwise I'm just gonna melt down right there, and it will not go well. Number 8, which I know is contradicting, but we still want friends. The problem is, we're just too shy to go up to people. Don't be afraid to come up to us. In fact, it made such a huge difference when people came up to me and reassured me that everything was okay. Some of us just really appreciate that, and it would make conversations easier to transition to. Number 9, autism is both a blessing and a curse. There are some really cool things that come with autism sometimes, like synesthesia and echolalia. But as I mentioned earlier, autism also comes with other mental disorders that can sometimes be bad. And sometimes it is so hard to balance those pros and cons, but I promise you that there are way more pros. Number 10, and probably the most important one, autism does not define us. We are trying our best to define autism. We just want to be accepted for who we are as people and who we are as individuals. When I tell someone that I have autism, I want them to say, "Oh wow, that's so cool," rather than, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." There's nothing to be sorry about. I understand. Autism is such a difficult disorder to understand because unless you have it, you can't really tell people how it works. But we're just all trying to be the individuals that we want to be, but we just have a little bit of an obstacle in the way. Overall, I am definitely proud to be autistic, and I would not change myself for the world at all. In fact, I can't even imagine my life without it. It definitely makes me the person I am, but what I do with it is how I define it, if that makes any sense. I've never been that great at explaining things, but if I did give you a better understanding of how this disorder works, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up, and until next time, bye bye.